All right, here is Blackboard, and we're going to look at Collaborate and setting up a Collaborate Ultra meeting. First, we're going to set it up, then we're actually going to kind of take part in one. Let's see how that goes. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my tools. So this is my personal course prep. I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to, which should already be there, and I'm going to go to Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And if I click on that, this should show up. And I can create a session. So this is me right here, and with this particular one, there's already one set up. Like you could just use the one that's already given to you. This one's again on your personal course, but if you have your own course set up, you could just make a new one. So I actually am going to create a new session. So create session, or you could create session there, and this is it. So let's just call it weekly meeting. Maybe if you have your course code, you want to put that in there. This is what the students will see when they come to this course and what it's named. So you have two options here to start with the normal basic information that you need to set up your course, and then after a few extra things you could change. But right now, what we could do, you look at the event details, like how's this actually going to run. So we could look at guest access, meaning not only are the students going to see this that are signed up to this Blackboard account, but also you could have another guest access where other people can join too if you wanted that. So you can click on that. And mainly also what it adds as well, it just gives you a link to copy to give to people, which I also give that to students as well. So what I always like to do is make everyone a participant, not a presenter, not a moderator, just a participant, meaning they could watch everything, they can't interact with anything, they could still do the chat, and they can still turn on their mics and turn on their videos, but they cannot change any content later, which I'll show you in a bit. So I will keep the guest access on, and what I'm going to do right now, September 2021, it's Labor Day, so what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to make it live for today, just so I could also access it as well. So today it's going to be live, and it'll be live at 12. You can change any time you want, so click on the time here. I'll say 12:32. It's going to be live, which that's in a minute. You can change yours to your weekly schedule, whatever you want. If right now I have like a class on Tuesday, so I'm going to say on Tuesdays it's going to be available. Say on the 7th at the time of my scheduled class, and it'll end whenever I want it to end. Or I could say no end open session. It just opens. When I press close, it closes. But I always like to give it an end, because just because I leave, I believe students can still interact on it themselves, which I prefer, I mean, in some situations, not to happen. So what I'll do, I'll just say, I'll give it an end session. Let's just say this is going to end the same day, and it's going to end like in, say, 3 hours or so. And good. That's like, normally that'd be your class time. We have 3-hour classes usually, or a 2-hour class. Give it that full time, and then that kind of regulates. If you want to repeat the session, which you probably would in your situation, well, in a normal situation, I can't even say normal, that it would be a weekly thing. So I would say, yeah, I want to repeat the session, and I'm going to repeat it weekly, daily, monthly, let's just say weekly. And I'm going to every week, and now here's where you pick your Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Say, okay, every Tuesday or every Monday it's going to happen at this exact same time, and done. You're good. And after occurrences, you could say after a certain amount of time, after 14 classes that we have, that's when it's going to finish. This weekly collaborate online video conferences are going to finish. Or you could say on this certain date, this isn't going to happen anymore, and you could always change that later on too. So right now I'm just going to say after actually no, I'm going to say end of date, which would be, I'll just do today, because the next day I'll just say it's finished, it's over, it's never going to happen again. You can have actually students come in a little bit earlier, 30 minutes early, 45 minutes early, just to kind of get things going, so they have access. They're actually in the Collaborate meeting, but just nothing's happening yet. I kind of like that, as opposed to just having no time. No, like right at 12:32, that's when they have to be there. There's nothing extra to come into. They have to be there at that time. It's almost like class. Like students can come in a little bit earlier, sit down, get ready, things like that. So I kind of like having that 15-minute buffer time there, which totally works. And if you want to provide a description of what actually the course is, why are you meeting, that's up to you. I normally don't do that. The other thing now, and I mentioned here, you have some options. So the options here, once again, the default attendee role, I always like as participant. The reason why I started off as participant, because you could change it later on in the actual Collaborate meeting. You could say, oh, this person's no longer a participant, they're going to presenter. Or this person's not longer a presenter, they're a moderator, whatever. I do it later on, because what I've learned is when you give students that extra access to presenter, they can actually go through your slides by themselves and change things. Even when you're presenting, they can change the presentation. So I don't want to give them that access. I've learned the hard way there. Allow recording downloads. Yeah, so if you want your video to have actually be recorded, you could actually change it later and say, yeah, during the meeting, you say, yeah, I'm going to start recording this. And then later on, it goes actually right to the Collaborate Ultra, and students can go back and look at the recording, which I always give that opportunity to be like, oh, if you missed a class, go back and watch the recording, or whatever the case was. Anonymized chat messages. I don't even actually really know what that is. I leave that option off. Just because the chat messages are just normal the way it is. I'm totally fine with how that works. Show profile pictures for moderator only. No, if anyone wants to show the moderator, show their own pictures, they can, which is totally fine. Share the audio, share the video, post chat messages, draw on whiteboards and files. So this one might be a part where you don't want certain people to do things. Show yes, you want them to share the audio if you want them to talk, if you want them to share the video. Post chat messages, sure. If you don't want any chat messages, click it off. If you don't want them to draw on the whiteboard part when you could upload something, don't do it. Just shut it off. Or if you don't want them to share video, you don't want their audio, it's just going to be you talking, you shut these things off. And this is only relative to this particular meeting that you're making. Private chat. Participants can chat privately only with moderators. No, you could say no, they could chat with everybody. Moderators supervise all private chats. No, you say, it's up to you. Say no, they could chat privately. It's up to them, because you have that option later on in Collaborate. Large-scale sessions, are you going to have 250 or more attendees? It's good to know. Obviously, in my situation, I have very few, maybe 30, 40 tops, but that usually doesn't happen, so I don't have to worry about there. Profanity filter, I'm dealing with, mature students, so I'm not usually too concerned about that. If they happen to swear or say something, maybe shouldn't, it's fine. I can, as a teacher or the moderator presenter, tell them to do what they got to do. So once that's done, I create it. I'm happy with everything there, and there it is. So now I've created it, I saved it, that's fine, and done. I'll close this. And now what I can do, I could actually go into this. It's in progress because I made it at 12:32. It's 12:37 right now, and I can actually join the session. So here is my session. I'll get to that in just a second, actually. So it shows me the weekly meeting. I only made it one day, but even though I said it would repeat weekly, it's only this one day. That's all it is. So I'll go here and I'll join the session. Now this is me in my Collaborate video. It's just like Zoom, it's just like Microsoft Teams. Here is the video. So I'm going to allow my microphone, and if I wanted to allow my video as well, which I'm not going to right now, but I can. So right away you get this pop-up, start the recording. So if you want to record this session and have everybody in on it, you can record so they can see it later. You can just press record. I'll even do that right now. Press record, and now it's being recorded. It even shows you right here, oh, so it's being recording in progress. On my left-hand side, I have this navigation, this drop-down. I could start or stop recording, report an issue if there's a problem, learn about Collaborate, get some help, privacy policy, all this stuff, or leave the session. You could also leave the session by clicking on no, actually not. How do I do this now? I should leave the session. I haven't done this in a while. Yeah, it should be here where when you would just leave, but it's not. Leave session. There it is. Sorry, my apologies. I haven't done this in a bit. So I could click on my picture and just leave session, and you could leave the session. That's all. Usually they have the hang up button here too, but they don't. Here on the other side here, my little chevron, I could just click on this. So here's my normal attendee list. It's just me right now. More people would obviously show up under participant, and I can see everyone. This is just the chat message area, so people would start chatting. And you could add something, just say hello, welcome to the meeting, whatever, and then it would start showing up there. Here is where you can start adding your own content in. So if you want to share a blank whiteboard, you can, and here's your blank whiteboard. And what people can do is they can actually just grab something and start drawing on it. If you actually wanted to do a presentation, now this is with your mouse, unless you had like a stylus and all that, you can make it really good, but this is just normal whiteboard if you wanted to, and you can close it right away if you just click on that. If you want to share an application screen, so share your screen, you can do that. You can say what screen, I want to share my entire screen, and allow it, and then you're sharing your entire computer, showing them what they want to do. Now I don't want to do that right now, so I'm just going to block that. But you can show your screen, and that's how you could run your whole class if you want to. Share your camera, if you just want to share your camera, which you would be doing anyways here if you just want to share video, but you could share just your camera and it would take up this entire screen. Share files. So this one is where I drop in my agendas or my notes that I have. I'll just drag and drop them in, and then I can click on them and do that. Actually, let me do a quick one here. So I have this agenda that I had. I'm just going to drag it in, drag and drop it. And it's going to just take a second to load, depending on how large the file size is. And there we go. So here I have this, and I can click on it and say share now. And now this is what's going to share. I got to click on one of the pages. This is just a PDF. You could share, I believe you could share other documents like a Word document or Excel files or different things like that. I just use PDF because it's very simple. And here I can just go through it. So I'll go through the next slide and the slide after that. These are just all my agenda notes for the first week. So then I can go through that. If I want to go further down and say, oh, I want to share this one right away, I could just do that instead of scrolling through them here. Now, once again, if you're the moderator, so you can change it. If you make the students presenters, they can go through this too and actually mess up your flow, which has happened many times to me. So I always make the students participants. If I want to change them, I can change them here. So if there's a student up here, and I could just click on the little three dots and say make presenter, make moderator, make participant, whatever. So you have some options there. You have options to kick people out if they're, being not good students. You have a few different options when you click on the student name and you click on the three dots and you see what's going on. Other than that, you click on the gear. There's a few different settings. Check your audio. But nothing really special here, but mainly here's when you're going to add some content. You can do breakout groups, you can do polling, whatever you want to do. If you want to do multiple choice, or actually, no, let me do a quick yes or no. Do you like school? So you can actually do these on the fly, or I believe you could set them up ahead of time. And then when you say start, the poll will show up and people could start like, yes, I do. And you could lock the poll, the visibility. And when it's done, you'll start seeing all the poll numbers come in, which is, you could share it or not share it. It's kind of an interesting thing to do, but not necessary. And that's it. Let me actually get rid of this way. There we go. And that's kind of it. And then when you want to close the session, you could stop the sharing. You can stop recording, but even if you don't stop recording, obviously when you leave the session, it will stop recording for you. So you could just do that, and then it usually takes a little bit of time for the session to be recorded and then be. So I'm just going to leave right now and just, yeah, it was a good time, whatever, just skip. And now my session is over. I left the session, good stuff. I can go back to Collaborate or to Blackboard. And my session the session is still in progress because I left it up for 2 or 3 hours, but it is over. And what will happen later, when you go to this drop down here, you'll go to recordings, and now once again the recording is still being recorded and figured out and put together. The recording will be here. That means students have access to go to tools, go to Blackboard, Collaborate Ultra, and go here to find that recording if they want to. You can also post, once the recording's up here, you could actually post that recording, like say under announcements or something like that. You could do that as well. It's entirely up to you, but it's what you prefer to do. If I look at my different sessions, these are the only ones I have. I used to do it where I'd have a session per course, but then I just said, why not just make one session that is just relative to the students when it's just an open course. I'll access it, and then it worked out pretty good for me a few times, and I kind of going to keep on doing it that way. I just have one session, and if I want to, I could actually copy the guest link. So there's it's copied. I just copy the guest link, and then I can go into my announcements and make an announcement saying, hey, Blackboard, Collaborate link. And then, so now students could always just click on this link and it'll take them to that session. So if I submit this, and this is the announcement, so there's my first announcement, they click on the link, it takes them right to the session. So they don't have to worry about going to tools and go to Collaborate and finding the session and joining the session. I found that the majority of students just click on this link. Once they join in, they could look at the, John, okay, I always, hopefully they give a name because we might have multiple names, the first names, John T, let's say. I'm going to join this session. Cool. And you saw where the name came up. It allowed You could put your name. It's called weekly meeting. You know, if you want to put your course code there, you can. And there's John T. So now what I'm going to do with my Blackboard as well is I'm going to join mine as well. So I'm going to do this, and as the teacher, I don't click on that link because that link is a guest link. I'm not a guest. Well, in that situation I was, but I'm going to go to Tools, Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, click on my session that I made, and join the session. So now what I'm going to see is me as a guest and me as the moderator. So look, I have the moderator now there. I have one person here, which is me, but as a participant, I could say now my controls. I could pin a video, not too sure what that is, send a chat message directly just to this person, so it's a private chat message. I could make this person the moderator, so now they're moderator just like me. So that means they could change anything they want, which I don't like. I'm going to say, no, you know what, I'm going to make you just a participant. Cool, so now they're just a participant. And if I want, for whatever reason, if I have to remove them from the session, I can remove them, and you kind of have that control over that too. But mainly, this is where they show up here, and you guys can kind of chat back and forth. If you wanted to, I'll say hello, and then as this person, I will, let's see, oh, there's a chat message. Oh, they said hello, I'm going to say hi back. And there's just kind of that back and forth, how that works. So that's how this works. That's how you set up a Collaborate meeting. That's how you control the Collaborate meeting, how you could add things and do things and talk, and how you close one out and all that fun stuff.